It's a game week for the Colts, right? A real game against the Miami Dolphins at Lucas Oil Stadium, and it counts in the regular season standings. And so as you listen to the coordinators, as you listen to Jim Bob Cooter and Lou Anarumo talk about the offense and the defense, you hear them just a little bit tighter than they've been during the preseason. They know what's at stake. This team hadn't won an opener since 2013 and hasn't won its first two games since 2009. This team's got to play better. One of the questions to Jim Bob Cooter is about Tyler Warren, because Tyler Warren is a difference maker, a genuine difference maker for this offense. So as you listen to Jim Bob Cooter talk about Tyler Warren, try to figure out whether he's sort of sandbagging his importance to the offense in case somebody else is listening, or whether he really thinks that, like, Tyler Warren is a rookie, and whether he's trying to tamp down expectations as fans try to figure out what the hell Tyler Warren is going to bring to this offense. It's interesting. The tone of Jim Bob Cooter, I think, tells the tale.
When you look at Daniel Jones, what does he bring from, I don't know, competitive standpoint, edge standpoint? Like, what stands out to you? Because he's so subdued with us, which most quarterbacks are, but I'd imagine there's a different side that you get to see.
Yeah, there's an intensity to his preparation. There's an intensity to his just sort of daily demeanor going about, the meetings, the practices, the walkthrough, leading those things and running those things with a purpose that I think has a positive value on our offensive side of the football team. So that's been really good. Everybody brings different energy to each of those situations, but he's been really, really good of sort of being on task and being prepared and being locked in those situations and leading his teammates to do the same.
Joel.
What do you see from the Dolphins? That's a defense that's some of the familiar names are kind of gone, but they've got other guys in there. What do you guys see from them going in?
Yeah, it was a defense that did a lot of good things last year, and they did have some injuries. They do have some either new faces or guys back from injury that are really good players. They got a lot of good players on that defense. They play real fast. Their coach, their defensive coordinator in particular, Anthony Weaver, puts them in great position to, they're pretty aggressive attacking offenses, whether it's a blitz from one side or the other or just different defensive front looks that really give offenses issues. They're a really, really top level defense. It's an exciting challenge for us to take on. I'm sure they're excited. A lot of their guys are excited to play week one the same way we are. It's a good defense. It's a good challenge, and fun part of this league is you never exactly know what week one is going to bring. You might have a good tendency on somebody, or they might have a good tendency on you, or think they figured something out, or you think you figured something out. But week one, we've all had a lot of time to mull over those things, and I'm sure those guys have done that. So it's a really good defense. I'm interested to see how they put the exact thing together heading into the regular season.
Chop.
Jim Bob, you've had these guys young and old for like 5 or 6 months now, 5 months, and you've seen strengths and weaknesses. What should expectations be of Tyler Warren?
Well, he's a young player, and in this league, any young player kind of getting his feet wet with his first real NFL, action. You never truly know, but gosh, he sure has done a nice job of learning what's needed at the tight end position. And traditionally in this league, the tight end position asks a lot mentally of guys to be prepared for different looks, different adjustments, being able to sort of play with instinct in those situations. He's done a really nice job of working through that, through training camp, through preseason games, obviously through the offseason before that. We're real optimistic he's going to go out there and play good ball for us, but I bet you there'll be some learning lessons. He's a young man who's, the defense is going to have their plan for him as well, and he's going to learn some things along the way. But we're excited about getting the season going with him. I know he's excited, and Coach Tom Manning's excited to get these guys going.
Isn't it fair to say you're still learning about him?
Well, I think we're trying to learn about everybody, but certainly our younger players. He's a rookie. We're going to learn a bunch about our younger guys as the year goes. And honestly, we probably need to learn a bunch about all our guys as the year goes. That's how it works in this league. But he's certainly surpassed a lot of young players that I've been around working through the offseason and the training camp program. The way that he has been very impressive. But new challenge coming with the regular season, 17 games and a bunch of different defensive schemes and looks and game plans. And, it is a challenge for a young player. I'd bet on him to take that challenge on head on and really have success with it. But I bet we'll have a couple learning lessons along the way.
One last, and then I'll shut up. You've learned a lot about Jonathan Taylor. You guys don't show anything regarding him during preseason. What just gives you, from being around him, the comfort level to know that when the time comes, he'll be there doing what he does?
Yeah, very, very productive. He's been very, very productive in this league. Especially when he's healthy, when he's right. He can be a really, really good player. Obviously running the football and doing a bunch of other things out there on the field. At the running back position, at a certain sort of aspect of your career, those preseason reps, I think it's smart for coaches to be intelligent with some of those guys so that they're fully rare and ready to go for the regular season. Jonathan's in a really good place. He's had really good training camp full of practices, and the regular season's coming, and expect him to have a good one. But we got to go put the work in and prepare for these Miami Dolphins. They'll be prepping for us. I know I'm sure they've got his jersey number circled. They're going to know where he's at. But he's done a really nice job for us, and looking forward to a fun year.
We'll do a few more here. Joel, go ahead.
You guys used Jonathan almost exclusively at running back down in the second half of the season last year. Not a lot of carries for other guys. Do you feel like you guys with DJ and with Tyler have guys that can maybe give him a breather every once in a while?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Those guys are, those are two different guys in different parts of their career, but those are guys we really like who have had a good offseason, had a good training camp. I think in a perfect world, a starting running back does have somebody to give him a break, give him a breather, maybe a playoff, maybe a carry off or two here or there. I think when you look around the league, you see enough of that to know that it makes some sense. Those guys have done a nice job. DJ being a young player who, we're learning more about him every day. And as a running back, we do a bunch of different things. The offseason, you don't put pads on. Sometimes you throw the ball a little bit more. You get into training camp, you get the pads on, but you don't tackle. Then we get into preseason and we see the tackling. So there's more and more and more that we're going to learn about DJ Giddens and all our running backs when the action is live, the tackling is live. He's done a really nice job. We're excited to see what the year holds for him. And Goody's been really good for us around here. Goody's had a really, really good offseason and camp, and excited about his year he's going to have. So yeah, I think those guys are going to help us on offense, and I think that's a good thing.
Steven.
Well, I kind of had a JT question, but I guess they took them all. But I'll just ask you a really basic one. There's a lot of good backs in the league for sure. What makes him different? What's unique about JT that makes him who he is?
Yeah, I think he's unique in the open field. I think he is about as good as I've seen. Once he breaks through that line of scrimmage, whether he's making somebody miss in the open field or just using his speed, talent, size, to really force the issue to the defense. Once he gets into that space, he attacks that space like few I've seen, and he does it really, really well. And we try not to overcoach him on some of those things. At least I do. I'll speak for myself. He's so naturally talented out there in space. We'll just do everything we can to try to put him in position to get him into that space, and then we're excited to watch him go. So it's going to be fun. Going to be a fun year for him and for all our guys.
We'll go James, and then Kevin, you can be our last question.
Jim Bob, obviously, Anthony, when he came into the season, he said he wanted to start and didn't get that opportunity. But after the news kind of came out, right away, he was like, I believe in Daniel. I'm excited for him. I want him to do well. And how much do you think a player's character gets tested when they don't get what they want? And then what have you seen from Anthony from that character standpoint to still be supportive?
Yeah, I think all our character gets tested in adversity, right? Which is kind of when you don't get what you want, or when you're in a situation that maybe you didn't pick. And Anthony's been a great teammate throughout, and he's been a great. He's going about his business the right way here in the meeting room and getting ready for this season. Coach said it. If you're the backup for any position, you're one play away. You got to prepare. You got to be ready to go. Anthony's been preparing well. He's been, like I said, been a great teammate, which is important in this situation. It is a any of these types of situations are tests for any of us, and he's doing a nice job there, and looking forward to watching him grow and develop as we go.
And one follow up, you were saying he's doing a great job there. I guess what specifically has he done, and does it look a little different than last year?
You're saying in the last week?
No, I mean just in general, like from last year, or even going back to when he first got here with the Colts. Like, what have you seen development wise, work ethic wise, study wise, that is giving you that confidence? Okay, he's going about it the right way.
Yeah, I think he's continuing to learn the exact sort of right process for himself, and that might be different in the offseason than training camp. In training camp than the season. I think year 3, he's got a better plan in place for what his game week looks like than maybe he did year 1. Those are the types of things where, anybody's improving their process as they're a player developing in this league. Shoot, we're trying to do it as coaches. What's our weekly process like? What do I do Tuesday when I walk out of this room with you guys that can make me a little better than what I did last year on this Tuesday? That's what we're all looking to do. Anthony's doing the same stuff. It might be watching a different tape at a different time. It might be, doing some sort of recovery tactic at a different time, or trying something new. All that stuff's whatever he's up to. Some of that I'll let him share or not share as he wants to. But we're all looking to improve. Sometimes it's 1%, little small improvements. I see him looking to find those.
Kevin, go ahead.
Jim Bob, in your history in the league, do you notice any week 1 trends with teams or operations or anything?
Well, I think unpredictability is a good one to say. I probably got to say it to remind myself. We have all this tape, and they have all this tape of us, and we have tape of them. They played those games last year. We played our games last year. I've had times in the past where, gosh, I really thought a certain play would work against a certain defense because I really think we got a tendency on. They're going to play this coverage on this down and distance, and shoot, we're going to get them. And all they did was change their tendency over the year because they had all offseason, and we end up having a bad ball play out there. So we got to be ready for the unexpected. There's oftentimes new players getting put together with a different scheme that they weren't a part of in the past. So, for our opponent, they got some new guys. They got some guys back from injury. How are they going to use those guys? We always have our guesswork, but we'll find out on Sunday, and probably same them for us. So it's a little bit of a fun cat and mouse game, but it's week 1. See if we can't go out there and put together a good week of work and have a good week 1.
There's Jim Bob Cooter talking about the offense. That offense had better work. Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Daniel Jones, and that offensive line, 40% of it brand new. It's got to work. You got to score points because the Dolphins are going to score points.